Hello and welcome to another edition of Will's Grill Shack. Today we're doing a comparison video between the Big Green Egg and the Kamado Joe. Don't forget guys, I have got an Instagram page. I post daily cooks and live cook-alongs. It should just be here, so head on over there, check it out, and I'll see you over there. Now this is a long-standing debate in the barbecue community, which ceramic grill is the best grill to buy. And the two that always come up are Big Green Egg and Kamado Joe. Now if you've been following this channel for a while, you'll know that I've had a Kamado Joe for the last year and a half and I absolutely love it. But I've just been given a Big Green Egg XL and I thought what better way to do it than a comparison video against the Kamado Joe. Now I'm fairly confident these are going to cook in the exact same way because the ceramic thickness and everything like that is the exact same. The only thing that I think separates these two is which is more economical to run and which of the food tastes better and what's the usability of the grills like. So in this video we're going to focus on the cooking. So we've got some 3 kilo beef short ribs that we're going to put on both grills and we're just going to see how each grill performs, how long it takes to cook them, how much charcoal's left, and those are the kind of basic things that we're going to cover. I am going to be using the slow roller in the Kamado Joe against just the standard ceramic plates that are in the Big Green Egg. And then in the following video that I'm going to do, I'm going to focus on a side-by-side comparison against the two grills. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe button to see more content just like this. So let's get started. I'm going to take you over to the bench. We've got two lovely 3 kilo beef short ribs from John Davidson's Butchers. So let me take you over there. I'm going to show you how to trim them and how I'm going to get them ready for the grills. Okay, here is our 2 beef short ribs from John Davidson's, both 3 kilos. As you can see there, even, nice bit of meat on them, and the same with that one there. So let's get them out of the packet and we'll give them a trim. Okay, so to trim these short ribs, you've got a nice top layer of fat here which we're going to take off, and then you've got the membrane on the back which I actually leave on for beef short ribs. If you've watched my pork video you'll see that I take them always off on the pork, but I leave it on for here. I just do a diamond, but we'll come on to that in a minute. So you want to grab your sharp knife, and then what we're going to do is just trim off this top layer of fat. It's nice to have a flexible blade because you can really get an angle and apply some pressure. Okay, and after you've trimmed it, it should look like this. And now these have got quite a big fat vein running through them, as you can see here. So I want to trim that because you will lose any meat that you have on there. So we've got that on there. Then what we're going to do is flip them over, grab your knife again, and we're going to do a diamond on the back. Okay, and there you go. You can see we've trimmed it all. We've just left a little bit of fat here because it goes quite narrow there. Hopefully you can see that, and we don't want to sort of lose the meat there. So it's still got plenty of meat on that one. Same with this one. It's got a nice bit of fat on it. So what we're going to do now is grab your French cheese mustard here, and then we're just going to put a layer of that across the top, like so. Just rub that in, and this is just going to be used as the binder really for the rub that we're going to be using. I always do this. It really seems to help the rub stick to the meat, and you get no real flavour or anything from the mustard. And today we're using Holy Cow from Meat Church. Not used this before, but looking forward to giving this a go. Nice coat of this over the top, and now we're just going to leave those to soak in and put them in the fridge for 2 hours in tin foil. Just really let that rub soak in. I always say it's really important to make sure that you keep those beef short ribs into the fridge for as long as possible, because the colder it gets, the easier it is to get a nice smoke ring on them. So let's have a look at the grills and what charcoal we're using. So to keep this cook fair, I've weighed out 5 kilos of Globaltic lumpwood, and I've put 5 kilos in each grill, the exact same amount. We're also using 2 firelighters and the exact same number of chunks of wood from the same tree that we cut down ourselves, and we're using cherry wood today, and they're the exact same weight and chunk size in each grill. So it should be a pretty fair comparison in terms of flavour if they've both got the same charcoal and the same rub and the same wood smoke. So we're going to be aiming for about 130, 140. That's how I cook beef short ribs, and I always find that it comes out really, really good at this temperature. A little bit hotter than what your standard cook would be, but this is what we're aiming for on this one. Interestingly, they've both come up to temperature in the exact same time period. It's amazing how close in comparison these two grills are. So we're now at temperature. The smoke is now running clear, which is what we're looking for. So now let's get both of these big short ribs onto the grill. First of all, we'll get the one on the Kamado Joe straight in the middle. I say we are using the slow roller as well, so that could give it an added advantage. Now let's get the ribs onto the big green egg. Again, just the standard deflectors on that. And then what we're going to do is just leave these for an hour and just let them just smoke away. Okay, we are now 1 hour in, and the Kamado Joe is cooking a lot slower at the moment than what the big green egg is. You can see that on the big green egg we've got some really nice meat retraction on the bone, and we've got a nice bark forming. The Kamado Joe, as you can see, just you're not getting anything like that at all. It's really weird, because normally at this point the KJ is doing really, really well. But we'll pop back in an hour and we'll see where we're at. Both grills at the moment absolutely perfectly holding temperature, nothing between them at all. It is true that once you get the Kamados and the big green eggs dialed into temperature, they just do not move. It's just completely solid. So we're now at the 2 hour mark, and you can see now that the Kamado Joe meat retraction has happened, and you can see that it's nicely sort of shifting back. Also really nice bark on that KJ, so the slow roller there doing what it needs to be doing. The big green egg again, just chuddling on through, no drama with that, just doing what it needs to be doing. Bark forming nicely. I'm not going to spray these, and they're actually cooking really, really quick. So I'm debating even whether to bother wrapping them. Okay, we are now at the 4 hour mark. I left it another extra hour just to carry on seeing what would happen with these two, and you can see that the Kamado one is leaps and bounds now ahead of the big green egg. We're probing the Kamado one. We're running at 140 degrees and it's already up at the 70 degree mark, so this is cooking really, really fast. The big green egg is at around the 60 degree mark. Again, we don't seem to be hitting any kind of stall, so I've decided that I'm not going to wrap these two, but at the moment the grills are just holding temperature absolutely perfectly. They were cooking to a real similar rate up until the last sort of 20 minutes, half an hour ago, where the Kamado's just rocketed in terms of how quickly it's cooking. But it could be that the meat, obviously, yes, they were the same size, but it could be from a different cow, which no doubt it is, and hence why it's cooking a little bit quicker. Okay, we are now at the 6 hour mark, and the Kamado Joe is probing absolutely perfectly. You can just see that the probe is just falling through it like absolute butter. So this is now ready to come off, and we're going to rest it. So that's 6 hours for a 3 kilo beef short rib. That's really, really quick. I mean, even doing hot and fast at say 170 degrees, I haven't had it done that quick. This is mega quick. So we're going to get it off and we're going to put it into the Yeti, and we're going to let that rest for a good 2.5 hours, and then we'll obviously slice it up. Big green egg, currently reading the 80 degree mark, so it's got a little bit of way to go. But if we have a look at the big green egg, you can see that the bark on it is absolutely amazing, and it's really, really looking good. I would have said the meat's a little bit thicker on that beef short rib, which is why it's taking that little bit longer, but it's looking incredible and smelling incredible. So we're another hour on, and as you can see, the big green egg is just ready now. We're probing it. It's literally just falling through it like butter. Again, didn't wrap, didn't need to. There wasn't really a stall. Really weird for these beef short ribs. Normally I wrap in butcher's paper, but not this time. So we're going to get that one off as well and put that into the Yeti. The ribs that were already in the Yeti, probably another hour of resting those, and then we're going to get them onto the bench and slice them up. So now let's take a look at how little fuel we've used in both of these. So as you can see in the Kamado Joe, hardly moved, really, really economic to burn, really good. and the good thing is you can just reuse that lump wood over and over again. And the Big Green Egg, as you can see, hasn't used much at all. The exact same as the Kamado, so they're both really, really efficient. The thickness of the ceramics is exactly the same, which makes them just work identically in terms of how economic they are to run. So join me after they've rested, and we'll come back over onto the bench, and we'll slice up the Kamado Joe ones, and we'll give them a little taste test. Okay, so as you can see, nice bark on it. Not much meat retraction on the bone. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, cooked really nice and quick. So let's just take a slice straight into it. And there we go. Not much of a smoke ring. It is quite juicy, as you can see. Okay, the taste test. So we've got our massive rib here. Look at the size of that. Let's just bite off a bit. Ooh, that was good. Really nice deep flavour. That slow roller really gives a nice flavour into the meat. Really, really nice. That rub is also really good. Got a touch of heat to it as well. Just hits the back of your throat as you swallow. Oh, spot on. Not as rendered down fat wise as what I normally would have. I think running at 130, 140 potentially was a little bit too much for this set of ribs that I'm using, British ones. Normally the USDA ones are obviously a much higher fat content, and these are sort of British ones, so I think maybe a little bit higher, potentially a little bit lower and slower would have been a little bit better. But look, these were cooked in what, 6.5, 7 hours, no time at all, and I didn't wrap them at all, which normally I would wrap, but I felt like this time I didn't really need to. But yeah, Kamado Joe's definitely done well there. Nice bark, nice smoke flavour, and yeah, cooked really, really fast. Now let's go and have a look at the Big Green Egg ones, and then we'll do a little comparison as to what I think's better. Okay, and here are the Big Green Egg ribs. Bark is really nice on it. You can feel it, so juicy. So let's slice straight into it. Look at that. That is beautiful, really nice smoke ring on it. Okay, the Big Green Egg one. Wow, really nice. Hopefully you can see that on the screen there. Really good smoke ring on that. And now let's just try a little bite of this. You're probably bored of me saying it, but wow, that was so good. Had such a nice flavour to it. The fat had rendered down. Really beautiful. Oh, absolutely incredible. And it just pulled apart so much easier than what the Kamado Joe one did. I can still taste it on my lips now. Really nice. So now you're going to ask me, which one do I think is better? And it's so hard to put this down to one individual cook. But on this actual cook, in my opinion, the Big Green Egg came out better. It had more flavour, it cooked it better, the fat rendered down nicer, and it was just really nice. So the winner this time is the Big Green Egg. Much nicer, really enjoyed it. I'm really interested though, side by side, which grill's going to come out better, because they've both got so many good unique features. Like, I'm really liking the egg expander that comes for the Big Green Egg. Really versatile cooking surface. But then in the obviously the Kamado Joe, you've got the divide and conquer system. Both have got their own tributes, and I'm really looking forward to doing this side-by-side comparison, which will be the next video on the channel. So just to recap on what we did today, we had 2 3 kilo beef short ribs from John Davison's. We put 1 on the Big Green Egg, 1 on the Kamado. We seasoned them with this here, which is Holy Cow from Meat Church. First time using that, really good. I say we put 1 on the Kamado Joe, 1 on the Big Joe. We maintain temperature of 130, 140, and we cook them. We took them all the way through to 95 degrees on each of them, and they were both probing really, really well. No wrapping this time either, first for me. Normally I'd wrap on beef short ribs, not this time, and they both came out really, really good. And we rested them into the Yeti for a good 2.5 hours, 2 hours per one, and they both, as I say, came out really, really nice. But on this occasion, I will say the Big Green Egg did come out better than the Kamado Joe. So I hope you've enjoyed this comparison video. If you have, please hit that subscribe button below and join me next time for more content just like this. As always guys, thank you for watching.